Hi guys, welcome and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Anudeep Sharma and I'm a software engineer in the US, but it was not long ago when I was about to graduate and I was also looking for my first full-time job, and man, it was so stressful. And so, believe me when I say that I do get the pressure of searching your first breakthrough. And more than that, this is not the best of times to search for a full-time job because at least in software engineering, there are so many layoffs and restructuring happening all around. And on top of that, there are so many fake job postings or what they call ghost jobs. And lastly, the use of AI to filter out eligible and non-eligible candidates all at the same time before your resume even reaches a human being makes it even worse. Less than a year ago, I was also in a similar position, and that is why in this video, I'm going to share ways in which you can make your job search journey a bit more fun, interesting, calm, and most importantly, worthwhile. Before moving forward, I want to tell you guys that this video is not about the newest AI tool that can help you apply to 10 jobs in 1 minute or to connect with 5 people in 10 minutes or even to get email IDs of the hiring managers in your dream company. No, this is not about that. The internet is flooded with those videos. I mean, you can find your 5-step ideal workflow to get your first full-time job and stuff like that. And honestly, tools and tactics and stuff are just a means to an end. They are not the real thing. And so, in this video, I am going to discuss and explain 4 attitudes and mindsets that you can adopt to give yourself the best chance of navigating this market and come out victorious. Let's get started. There are so many factors that are very important when it comes to landing your first job. For example, what is the state of job market, which currently it's not the best. The timing for applying to a role, meaning that if someone else discovers that particular role earlier than you, they will apply faster and hence will have more chances of getting selected. Number 3, geographical restrictions. That is that companies generally tend to hire people/graduates who are studying or living near that particular area because their recruiting costs are minimized. And finally, networking bias. That if someone else is applying to that particular role that you are also applying to, but he or she has a referral, they have a higher chance of getting selected and you can do absolutely nothing about that. But the good news is that all of these fall under what I and the Stoics call external locus of control. So this external locus is an area or a realm in which we have no control over. For example, the parents that you're born to, your mother tongue, the name that you were given, our genetic builds which dictates how tall we are, how people respond to us even when we talk to them properly, how people treat us in spite of us treating them well. Basically, all these things are things that we have no control over, and hence the Stoics would say to not worry about them anyway. 1 minute crash course to Stoicism. Basically, according to Stoics, there are only 2 types of situations in this world. Number 1 is where you have absolute control over, and number 2 is where you have no control over. And so, the Stoics would argue that we only have to worry about the things that we have control over, because worrying about stuff that we don't have control over will not change anything because we anyways don't have any control over that situation. And hence, control the controllables. Just worry about which job you have to apply to, not what job your roommate or your flatmate has to apply to. Just worry about how you can get better in your field, because there will always be someone who is better than you, who's more experienced, who has more expertise, but they will never be you. Maybe you can work hard and surpass them. So you only have to worry about what you can do and not what the others. Basically, all you have to do is do your best and leave the rest. Basically, adopting an internal locus of control wherein you are only worried about the things that you can do, you can control, and that gives a lot of calmness to the whole situation and you feel a lot more in control of the whole process, and that is exactly what you need at this point of time. So, this is something that almost all of us do, and not only during the job search process but also in life in general. That is relying on that bout of motivation or inspiration to strike and then taking action. This is something that keeps so many people from achieving what they truly are capable of achieving, because if you are relying on that bout of motivation to strike and then taking action, it is like doing so less than what you can actually do. Because personally from me, inspiration and motivation comes very sporadically and rarely, And that means that if I only take action when the motivation hits, I'm taking action less number of times. And that means I will have less output, and therefore I will not be able to achieve what I am truly capable of doing. There's a famous saying that motivation is a myth, and I really believe that. Instead, I would urge all of you watching my YouTube channel that if you in some capacity care about becoming a better version of yourself and to maximizing your performance, you have to make systems, routines and processes. What I mean to say is that you have to design your life in such a way such that you take action irrespective of how you're feeling. Even in my last video, I mentioned about how I was feeling just after my graduation day when all of my friends were enjoying, they had jobs and stuff, their parents had come, and I had not even packed my graduation dress. And I opened up my laptop and I started surfing LinkedIn. I applied to 10 jobs that day. I did a couple of lead code practice questions that day. And I was not feeling like doing that, but I still did it. And it felt good at the end of the day. And I really want to tell you all that it is not because of my ultra disciplined self. Yes, discipline plays a role, but it is the systems that enable me to perform these things on sort of an autopilot mode, because I do these deep thinking sessions where I design my life according to what I want to do. But then when it comes to doing that particular thing, I just follow the systems. I just follow the process, and it takes care of everything else. Two of the most important tools that will help you in this job search journey is a calendar and a checklist. This habit is something that I picked up in my university, probably during bachelor's or probably at the start of master's, is that I basically till date live my life based on a calendar. Because when I am planning out my ideal week, when I'm planning out my day, I set intentional blocks of time about the things that I want to get done. And when it comes to time to do those things, I just do it like a robot. And so on my calendar during my job search process, I had blocks for applying for new jobs. I had blocks for networking, studying for my class assignments, for studying for my job interviews, and basically all I had to do was follow my calendar and not worry about anything else. But zooming in on that particular time block, that couple of hours when I had to do networking, I had a checklist which said that I had to connect with 10 new people. I had to follow up with people who had followed up with me. I had to follow up with people who had given referral to me. And I had to follow up with people who I thought can give me an answer if I just message them once more. And all these are things that, if kept in my mind, cannot possibly happen every single day. And I did not want to miss any of those steps, any of the days during my job search process. And that is where checklist come into play. And so basically all of this was in my notes app and not here in my brain. And having a system and a process to follow makes life so much easier. And when things are easier, you do them even when you're not feeling motivated or inspired. So a lot of the stress in the job search process is by taking in the sheer number of rejections that you get every single day. Every morning, you see those 5 rejections in your email inbox and you feel discouraged and your heart sinks. And after that, you get angry and then you get furious and then you apply to 10 more jobs and then you get burnt out. But while applying to those 10 jobs, you feel less hopeful than yesterday. And this vicious cycle continues. Now, all you need to do is get your rejections number up. Yes, you heard it right. You need to get more rejections. For example, if you apply to X number of jobs, you will only get a fraction of those applications following back to you that you have not been selected. So basically, if you are getting rejected more number of times, that means that you are applying way more number of times. And that will increase your surface area and also your odds of getting a job. My seniors used to say that in the morning, if I don't see 20 to 25 rejections in my email inbox, I am not allowed to have my morning cup of coffee. Because the more number of rejections that I have, the better indication it is that I am on the right track. And this is not to say that you should mass apply. Yes, you should look at what that particular job role needs, and if you have the necessary skills and domain knowledge to fulfill the roles and responsibilities of that particular role. But even if there is a 70 to 80% match, you should anyways apply without a referral to take your chances. What is the worst that could happen? But in case you find that there is a 90 to 95% match with your skills and that particular job role's responsibilities, you should definitely network and ask for someone in the company to give you a referral and then apply through that referral. Always remember, if all your skills match that particular job role, you are overqualified. Having said that, one of the main reasons why people don't get a job even after getting an interview call, because they lack deep knowledge. Hence, the job search process is an optimization problem. You have to apply as much as possible, but you also don't have to mass apply. You have to see if you have the necessary deep skills and knowledge to fulfill the roles and responsibilities for that particular position. And if you do, you have to take all the steps necessary so that you put your best step forward. You see, this job search process is a great feedback mechanism because it helps us see our shortcomings with every rejection. Probably this time your resume was not updated, or probably to save that one line, you missed that important skill that was very necessary for this particular position. Or probably you are not even qualified for the role, or probably somebody else is applying to that role with a referral and they have a better chance at getting in. There is definitely no way to feel discouraged, because taking rejection in this way is one of the worst ways you can take feedback. One of the most prominent things that keeps people from getting their first full-time job is not performing well in their job interviews, at least in technical fields. One thing that has to be kept in mind is that to get a full-time job, you have to A, get an interview, and B, perform well in that interview. Hence, when you are on the lookout, keep your interviewing skills warm and good, even when you are not getting any calls. As I mentioned in my last video, it is all about being ready when the opportunity comes, instead of getting ready when the opportunity comes. You have to be already ready, because the window of opportunity is so small that you just can't afford to start when it comes. You have to be ready. And a lot of people get this preparation process wrong. There is a difference between working hard and working hard the right way. Consider two people, person A and person B. So person A applies to hundreds of applications every day, and after applying, he studies the same DFS question that he is stuck on since the last 2 weeks, and after that he again applies, and he has double and triple applied to so many roles, but he doesn't even care because the companies are not going to come back to him anyway. And after a full day of hard work, he goes out with the boys to have some drinks. On the other hand, consider person B. She has a spreadsheet of all the people that she has already talked to, roles that she has applied via referrals, and roles that she knows has a high chance of getting picked. After that, she identifies and revises the topics on which she is facing problem, studies the fundamentals of it, and does some practice questions. This systemic learning keeps her on a roll, and she is not stuck on any topic for a long time, thereby covering the whole range of topics that she can be interviewed on. And after doing all that, she also has time in the evenings to relax or work on her hobbies. Who do you think has a better chance of getting picked? I think you guys already know the answer. Being organized and a bit disciplined goes a long way in any endeavor, and treating this whole job search process as sort of a part-time duty gives it a lot more sincerity than you actually would, and would help you gain far better results than you actually would. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around for so long. If you still are here, I would love for you to comment down below what your tips and tricks for job search are, and what are the things that personally helped you out. And this would also create for a good resource community for people who are still in this hard job search process and who are looking for the first breakthrough. Having said that, please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.